Okay, we are going to start from the same topic where we left, right, Mipsam?
Okay.
Okay, so we will start from the sperm cell. Okay, so yesterday we discussed a bit about sperm cells. We did discuss that it was a male sex cell and it is used for reproduction, right? Its main purpose is to fertilize an egg. Now, this is
Yeah.
how a sperm cell looks like, and these are some of the components of the sperm cell. At the first, like this first end is called as the head, right? The head is oval shaped and it contains the nucleus. What is inside the nucleus? It's the genetic material that resides in the nucleus, right? Then the tip of the head or the tip of the sperm cell is called as acrosome, right? Now, acrosome is there's a very you can say a significance of acrosome that it secretes enzymes that are used to digest the cells around an egg and the egg membrane, right? For example, look at here. Here we have an egg cell, right? Now, when a sperm tries to enter this egg cell and it tries to you can say fertilize this egg cell, so this acrosome releases some sort of enzymes, right? Those enzymes helps to digest the membrane of egg cell, right? That's how it can get inside the egg cell. You got it, Vipsam?
Yes.
Okay, then this is the mid piece. Now the mid piece it is packed with mitochondria. It contains a lot of mitochondria inside. Those mitochondria provide energy for the movement of sperm, right? And at the last we have the tail, or you can say the flagellum, that moves in a whip like action that enables the sperm to swim, right? So that is the adaptations of sperm cells. You got it? Now I'm
Yes.
moving towards the egg cell. Now the egg cell is larger than the sperm cell, and mostly it is a spherical shape, right? And there is as it is larger than the sperm cell, so it is having more cytoplasm inside it, right? And then there are several, the we can say the parts of egg cell. First, we have this nucleus inside it, right? Why do we have a nucleus inside the sperm cell, egg cell? That is for carrying the genetic information. Then we know that it has cytoplasm inside it. Now that cytoplasm contains the yolk droplets. Now that cytoplasm, the yolk droplets, sorry, the yolk droplets, they are made up of protein and fats, right? Then here we have a jelly coat. Okay, first we have the cell membrane, right? That is the membrane of that is surrounding the egg. Now, this membrane control what enters and what exits the cell. That is the same function that is in animal or plant cells, right? But it has another significance that after that one sperm has succeeded to enter into this cell, after that this membrane changes instantly, and then it does that to block any other sperm entering into the cell. You know that there's like only one sperm fertilizes an egg. Only one sperm can
Yes.
enter into the egg, so that is why it changes its membrane so that no other sperm cell can enter into it. Then we have this jelly coat. It is a protective This jelly coat is also like a protective layer or protective coating on this egg cell that helps to attract sperms, right? And then it shows that only one sperm fertilizes the egg, so it's an additional protection for this egg cell. Then we have the follicle cells, right? The follicle cells, they surround the egg, right? There you can see these follicle cells are all around the egg cell, and they provide it with nutrients and they help in guiding the sperm to the egg, right? They keep on moving. And yeah, so that was all about an egg cell, right? You got it, Sam?
Yes. Yes.
Let me see that. Is there anyone else in the? Okay, no one has joined till now. Okay, now this was all about the cells. Now we have to move to another topic, that is the levels of organization. Okay. Okay, now this level of now what are levels of organization? They show how life is structured, right? From a tiny molecule to the entire organism, how things are structured, what are the levels, right? First of all, we know that if we have a microscopic organisms, that means it is made up of only one cell, and that one cell is responsible for carrying out all the processes that are needed to keep the cell alive, right? But if we talk about now, this was for microscopic organisms that are very small, or like you can say the unicellular, single cellular organisms. Now, if we talk about the larger plants and animals, we know that they cannot survive on their own, right? So, for example, if you take an example of a muscle cell, we know that it cannot obtain its food and oxygen by itself. So, there are other specialized cells that provide food and oxygen to it. And this food and oxygen is obviously required for muscle cell to survive, right? Now we have this level of organization listed over here. Now first you see you have cells. Now similar cells, they combine to form tissues. Now group of tissues, they that are working for the same purpose, they combine or join to form an organ. Then different organs that are contributing to a similar kind of function, or to achieve to achieve a similar task, they join to make an organ system, and then different organ system working together will contribute in making an organism. For example, here you can see, in case of plants, we have several cells, they combine to make tissues, organs, and organ system and organ. Same is the case for animals as well. We can have epithelial tissues, stomach tissues, muscle tissues, they would make an organ. For example, the tissues that are contributing to a function of heart, they will form this cardiac, not the heart. And then it is going to that they are going to several other systems. In case of humans or animals, for example, circulatory system, nervous system, digestive system, all these systems will work together to make up an organism. Now we will see all of them step by step. First we have a cell. We have like studied cell in very detail. We know it is the basic structure and function, that is it performs the basic structure and function in all living organisms, right? Then comes the tissues. Okay, Fahad, are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
Fahad, why are you late?
I was praying salam, ma'am.
Okay, Fahad, try to be on time, because I have concluded the previous topic again, right? Okay, now look at here the tissues. We know that similar cells, they group together, right? And that similar cells, they group together to perform a specific function. And these cells are often of the single type or similar type. For example, if we have cells of each type, they are going to perform similar if they have similar structure, and they have a similar function, we call them a tissue. And these tissue are going to perform some sort of special function. For example, if you have a muscle, right? The muscle is muscle. Why are like what is the function of muscles? They help you to contract and to cause movement, right? Xylem, if you talk about the xylem tissues, they carry water in plants, right? And there are some other forms of tissues as well. For example, epithelium tissues, the tubes, the glands. Now, what are epithelium tissues? These are the outermost layer of cells, right? It mostly covers the lines of the body. For example, your skin, your internal organs, or the lining of the mouth cavity. So, Epithelium tissue, what do? They cover the linings of the body. If we talk about the tubes, what are the purpose of tubes? They are also made up of tissues, or you can say they are also tissues. They are formed by the epithelial tissues, and they are folded into a tube-like shapes. They are group of tissues, but they are folded in such a way that they form a tube-like structure. And mostly these tubes are helpful in transporting or absorption of anything. Then comes the glands. The glands are also the epithelial tissues, but they are specialized for secretions. Now see that here we have these cells. These are the epithelial cells, or the epithelium tissues. You can see they are arranged in the form of layers, right? And these epithelium tissues, they come in different shapes. Then if you see the xylem and the phloem, now these are also xylem tissues or phloem tubes. These are also the tissues, but they are grouped in such a way they are forming tube-like structures. You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What about you, Fahad?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you're not getting anything, please do inform me. Okay. Then comes this. Okay. Now this is like a picture from your book that is of cells of that are forming epithelium. These are, you can see, these are the layer of tissues, and then there are different type of epithelium. Some epithelium, they are present in the internal lining of the windpipe. Some are present in the air passages, while other are they are present in the food canal as well. And the purpose, like the main purpose of them, is to protect the organs from the physical and chemical damage, right? So it is like a covering on different organs. Okay, then we see another kind of cell, sorry, tissue. These are cells that are forming tubes, right? These are the same cells, but they are arranged in such a way that they are forming a tube like structure. So that could be like, if you consider a kidney tubules, so you know that they carry liquids from one part of the organ to the another. So again, they are group of cells that are working together, so obviously they are the tissues, but they are just in different shapes. They are arranged in different shapes. Then comes one kind of muscle cells that are arranged like this, and they form, for example, you can say that they are in muscle tissues, they are in the nerve tissues, connective tissues, and blood vessels, and they help move. If they are in, for example, in the food canal, so they help the food move along the food canal. And if they are present in the blood vessels, so they help them to close down the small blood vessels. And this is done, like these muscles are specialized or they are arranged in such a way that they are going to help in the contractions. Okay, then if we talk about like this kind of shape. Now these are the cells, they form a part of glands, right? In glands, the cells are arranged in such a way. And these are obviously the cells again that are working together. So they would serve as a part of a, they're actually the tissues. Then now what happens in a gland? We know that these are the cells that make chemicals, and those chemicals are then released into the central space and carried away by the tubules, right? Whatever the chemical is produced by these cells, they are put into the central space, and then from there they are carried away by the tubules, the other kind of tissues. And there are hundreds of cells like this. They are grouped together and they form glands such as salivary glands. You have so many glands inside your body, right? Salivary glands are one of them that are responsible uh, for producing saliva, right? So that was all about tissue. Then we have to move towards organs. Now, what are organs? Now, these are the structures that are made up of group of tissues that are working together to perform a specific function. Now, several kinds of tissues, they will work together to perform a specific function. If you take an example, like for example, if you see what kind of organs do we have a lot of organs in our body. For example, take kidney, lungs, stomach, heart, intestine, brain. These are all the organs, not all the organs, some of the organs that are present inside the uh, animals. Then if we talk about the plants, there are root, stem, leaf. These are the organs in plants. And what kind of tissues are making these organs? These are the epidermis tissues, the pellicate tissues, the spongy tissues, the xylem, and fluid. So these are some of the tissues that are contributing in making these organs. Now, if we talk about stomach, okay, if we talk about stomach, we know that these stomach also contain different kinds of tissues, right? One could be the epithelial tissue, the other could be the gland cells, or then there could be muscle cells as well. So these are different kinds of cells. They are grouped together, they are performing some task that is helpful for the stomach. So this stomach also, these cells, they get the food and oxygen by the blood vessels, right? And the stomach also has a nerve supply as well. Now that was all about organs. So this the purpose of this stomach example was that you can see that there are several other kind of cells or tissues that are contributing in making this stomach a useful and a functional organ, right? Then we have to move towards the organ system. Now, what is an organ system? Are you listening, children?
Yes.
Are you people getting this or not?
Yes.
Okay. And then comes the organ system. Now we know when different group of organisms, a group of organisms that are with related function, they work together and they form a particular body function. And these group of organs, they are with closely related functions. They have the same motive of performing a same kind of job. For example, if you see over here, this is an example of a circulatory system in human body. So you can see that this circulatory system is composed of heart, blood vessels. Now these blood vessels, the heart, they are performing the same function. Now could you tell me that what is the job of circulatory system? Any one of you?
Ma'am, to take the deoxygenated blood to the heart and pump the oxygenated and transport the oxygenated blood to the organs.
Very good. It's same like the circulatory system. It is responsible for providing oxygen to every cell in the body and taking out the carbon dioxide from every cell of the body. You can say it in this way as well. Also, with the help of blood, all the food, like all the nutrients, they are transported to all parts of the body. Is that so? So all the organs that
Yes.
are present inside the circulatory system, they are contributing or they're somehow trying to achieve a same motive, right? Then comes the nervous system. Could you tell me, like any one of you, that what is the purpose of nervous system?
Ma'am, it transports nerve impulses
Hmm.
uh,
To all parts of the
for
body.
the Uh, yes, if there is a stimulus, the sensory neurons detect that the change, and they send a nerve impulse to the brain, and from there it goes to the motor neurons
Mhm.
and to the effectors.
Very good. So actually, all the organs that are involved in the nervous system, they are also working for the same cause, right? That is to transfer. Then we have the flowering, like if we have the systems, such kind of organ systems in flowering plants or plants as well. We know that there are two common systems, that is the shoot system and the root system, right? The root system is all about roots, while the shoot system composed of stems, fruits, leaves, buds, stems, things like that. So all the organs that are involved in a root or shoot system, they are also contributing for the same cause, right? Then comes the organism. Now, all these different kinds of organ systems, they contribute in making a whole new individual. Now, in case of organisms, we know these individual animals or plants, they are formed by all the organs and organ system that are working together to produce an independent living thing. Now, if I am a living thing or an organism, you are an organism, you are an individual, so that means that we are independent, right? Or all body functions, they are working perfectly fine. And like for for like to stay alive, we don't need an external system, right? We have all the systems present in our body. For example, if any of this system is not working properly, let's suppose take a example of kidneys, right? If your kidneys are not working properly, then you have to go for a dialysis, right? The function that is,
Dialysis.
yeah, yes, the function that uh, your kidneys should be performing is done by a machine. Then if we see from here, this is an example of how cells and tissues and organs, they are related in your body. For example, look at this A diagram, that is a system, and this is a digestive system of the human organism that contains stomach, a large intestine, small intestine, and esophagus. There are like more other organs that are contributing in this digestive system, but some of them are mentioned over here. Now we take an example of just this stomach. What is going to happen in case of stomach? That you know that this is the lining, stomach lining, and these are the muscle layer of stomach. Now this organ, the stomach, that is from the digestive system. If you cut open, you're going to see that there is a lining of the muscle layer, and that lining is over here. Like this is how that looks like. These are the glands. Here we have the circular muscle, and these are the longitudinal muscle. So these are all muscle tissues, but of different kind. Now you see that this is the tissue, and this is a small piece of stomach wall with the muscles and gland tissue. Now the D diagram, you can see these are the cells, like these are single cells. Now some muscle cells from the, these are only some muscle cells from the muscle tissue. So you can see like this was a whole system. If and that system is composed of different organs. Now those different organs, they compose, those different organs are made up of different kinds of tissues working together. Then those different kinds of tissues are have cells that are performing the, like those cells are grouped to perform similar functions. So this is how your level of organization of a living things work, right? So is there anything else that comes to your mind when we talk about this chapter, that's level of organization? Do you people want to add something?
Ma'am, what about the respiratory system?
Yeah, that is also, that can also cover under the category of organ system. We have a lot of systems in the body. I have just mentioned two over here, but yes, you the like you can also tell me the other ones that comes to your mind. You have the respiratory system, and what else? There's an endocrine system as well in the body, right? Yes, Mipsam, do you have any
Yes.
idea?
Uh, Ma'am, is it for the transportation of hormones?
Yeah, we have the circulatory nerves, digestive is also mentioned. You told about the respiratory system. We have the skeletal system, right? The system of bones. Then we have the immune system as well. We have excretory system, right? That involves kidney. Then we have the reproductive system as well. So there are many systems in the body that are working together in contributing in making a whole individual, right? That was all. And then we have to see the other, like the say, like third chapter or the topic, that is classification. Now, do you have any idea about what is classification?
And do we specify different organisms under different genus and species?
What? Yes, okay, it's fine. Mipsam, have you asked this question? It was you? Yeah, it's
Yes, yes,
Mipsam, is
yes,
that your question?
yes, yes.
Okay. So you are asking that effectors can, is that a question? The effectors can be muscles or glands. Yeah, you can say the muscles as well, because we know that the effectors they can contract to cause some movements, right? And they could be muscles because, sorry, they could be glands because time is okay. They could be glands because they secrete hormones or other substances, right? That could be like sweat or saliva. So that is why you can call them both. Can you give me an example of a effector or muscle? Sorry, effector?
Ma'am, it could be the ma'am, I forgot the name of the hormones that are secreted in the in the nephron in the kidneys to control the water levels. Ma'am, but those hormones um, are secreted as a response.
Are you talking about the ADH? That is the
Yes, yes,
anxiolytic
yes,
hormone.
ADHD.
Okay. So it depends. For example, if you talk about, for example, if you're talking about right, for example, arm muscles, they can be like, they can serve as a factor, right? Because when you touch something hot, you know your muscle they quickly pulls off your hand. In that case, your arms are involved, right? So that arm muscle couldn't be called as gland. But if you talk
Yes.
about a sweat gland, right? So in case of a factor, that could be a sweat gland, right? So we know that is producing secretions, right? Right.
Ma'am, can pituitary gland be counted as an effector?
Now tell me first, what is the like purpose of pituitary gland?
Ma'am, it's the master gland of the body,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to control homeostasis, and uh, it also releases ADH.
Yes. So everything could be called like the other thing, but it depends like in what case, right? For example, in case, let me think of it. Now, first we know that an effector is any muscle or a gland that is going to respond to a stimulus, right? If a muscle is doing that, so it could be a effector. If a gland is doing that, so then it is also a effector, right? So in case of pituitary gland, uh, if it is going to receive a signal from a brain, right, and then on upon that signal it's going to release a hormone, then we can say that it's a effector, right?
Yes,
Could we
we
say
can
that,
say that it's an effector.
right? Because in that case, because upon receiving the signal from the brain, it's going to secrete some secretions. So in that case, we can call it an effector as well. Right? Okay, so like, is there any other question? Fahad,
No,
it's
that
now.
was my question.
Okay. If you have any questions, so you can like speak that. Sometimes I don't even open this chat. I just opened this accidentally this time and I've seen your question. Now we have to move towards the classification. That's our third topic. Okay. Now, this classification is like a process of grouping living organisms into categories, and that is based upon their similar features or characteristics. Now, what's the purpose of classification? The purpose of classification could be to organize the vast variety of living organisms, right? To make it easier to study and identify and understand them, and then it could be to show how organisms are related through evolution. Now, this was all about classification. Then organisms are classified into various groups. For example, the levels of classification that we have is this. First comes the species, like the smallest group, then comes genus, then family, then order, then class, then phylum, and then kingdom at the last. First, we have to start from species. What happens in case of species that it is a group of organisms that can reproduce to produce fertile offsprings. Now we know that in case of humans, right, they can reproduce, right? They can like breed among themselves, right? They can, what do we call that? They can interbreed. That interbreeding could be like between only humans, right? But if we talk about the species like a dog, and if we talk about a dog and a cat, so both belongs to a different species, right? In case of species, the smallest species, the smallest natural group of organisms. And if we talk about members of the species, they often look very similar together. For example, cats look similar, dogs look similar, but they do have some like differences, but all of them generally look simple. If we talk about these miners, eagles, and parrots, these are three different species of a bird, but all comes under the category of birds, right? And members of a species, they are normally identical. They are identical in case of their anatomy, in case of physiology and behavior. Now, anatomy is something that is related to the parts of the body and where they are situated inside the body, while physiology deals with the function of those body parts, and behavior shows how organisms are going to act. But a member of the same species might have small variations among themselves. For example, if you look at this example, where you have like all of these are cats, right? All of them are cats, but they do have different names. So these all cats are, they belong to same species, but they have variations among themselves, that is because that is going to contribute in their different appearance. So we can say that they are like of different breed, but breed is something like a subtype of a species, right? So you can have different breeds of cats, right? In case of dogs, you have different breeds, right? And in animals, you generally have different kinds of breeds, right? And those breeds could interbreed among themselves as well. But species couldn't interbreed, like species can't interbreed between different species. Then comes, is that clear about species?
Yes.
Okay. In case of breeds, you people must know more about me, right? Like children, they do have interest in different animal breeds. Is that so? Could you tell me about some breeds of dogs?
Ma'am, I don't know of many.
Like some, I even don't know some. Is that like, yeah, I do know some. Like, it isn't like the German Shepherd. Do we have that, or is that a breed?
Yes, yes, that
Then
is
you have,
one.
I guess, Labrador as well.
Yes.
I guess that's all that I know. And in cats, I have no knowledge about different breeds, but yeah, there are some names mentioned of different breeds of cat. For example, it's like African Serval, American Cur, and Burmese Maltese, Peterbolt, Black Smoke, Silver Shaded British Shorthair, Japanese Bobtail. So these are some of the species. All I know is that street cats that I see. Okay. Then comes genus. Now, what's a genus? It's closely related species. Now, when closely related species, they are grouped, like they're grouped. They are grouped